Today, I'm building a golem unlike any we've ever seen. Introducing the TNT Golem, a golem constructed entirely of TNT that is bigger, stronger, and more explosive than anything else in Minecraft. Now, for the next 100 days, I'll be using my dy-no-mite powers to blast my way through obstacles. Will I be able to stop the Giant Magma Golem, or will I be reduced to ash? It was time to find out as I spawned into a plains biome as a baby TNT Golem. I was in my homeland surrounded by my fellow TNT Golems. Watching over me was my mom and dad.
Welcome to the world, Max.
Suddenly, clouds filled the sky, and meteors rained down from above, smashing into our home and destroying houses and the land, as the Giant Magma Golem marched into the area.
This world will soon be bathed in fire.
Using his fire powers, the massive golem threat lit my people ablaze, causing explosions to go off around us. He sent a fireball attack at me next.
Max, look out!
I watched in horror as my mom protected me from the hit, causing her to explode. Mom, no! She'll pay for what you did to her! My anger began to boil over, but before I could act, my dad intervened.
Son, calm down. You must never lose your temper, otherwise you'll explode just like the others.
I tried to calm down, but the Giant Magma Golem struck again, this time setting my dad on fire too.
It's over for me! Run!
I ran for my life as he exploded behind me. The Giant Magma Golem followed me in close pursuit to eliminate what was left of our people. On day 2, I was being chased through the overworld by the terrifying Giant Magma Golem. He shot down at me with his fireball attacks, but I wasn't strong enough to fight back. I was still only a baby. I need to find cover. Now! I hid inside of a cave and found a massive stone bridge positioned over a pit of lava. Before I had a chance to run across, another TNT Golem pushed me to the side.
Out of my way, kid!
The ground trembled under our feet, causing him to lose balance. He plummeted into the lava below and exploded, demolishing the bridge in his wake, revealing platforms for me to jump across. I can't touch that lava at any cost. I have to jump over this carefully. Using the remains of the bridge, I platformed over the lava, doing my best not to fall. The ground shook more as the Magma Golem tried to break into the cave, but I managed to make it to the other side without catching fire. Suddenly, the ground shook again, but this time it was much more violent than before. Something was wrong. This isn't right. Am I inside of a volcano? Holes sprung out of the wall, pouring lava all around me. I ran as fast as I could before I was set ablaze. On day 3, I tried to escape the erupting volcano as more lava poured out around me. I evaded the magma as it dripped out of the walls and ceiling. I knew I had to get out of here before it was too late. Come on, just a little more!
Help me!
I stopped in my tracks as I heard someone calling for help. I turned and saw a baby creeper surrounded by lava about to get burnt up. I can't just leave him. Here goes nothing. I used my TNT powers to blow up a part of the volcano, creating a path of rubble. The creeper ran out and was able to make it out of the tight spot.
Thank you for your help. My name's Creed. Here, please take this.
He handed me an upgrade, causing me to transform. I grew bigger in size and sprouted legs, arms, and even a body. I was now an adult TNT Golem with 10 hearts and new powers. What are you doing here all alone? Suddenly, the ground shook under us again. It was clear we were running out of time.
Let's talk later. Right now, we gotta move.
We quickly booked it before it was too late. On days 4 through 7, Creed and I escaped the volcano just as it began to erupt behind us. Lava seeped down the mountain onto the forest terrain below, causing a terrible forest fire. We're not out of the woods yet! Creed and I avoided the flames as they spread around the greenery. One touch from them would lead instantly to my death. As I ran, I spotted something interesting, but it was quickly burnt in the chaos. Did you see that? There are loads of other secrets hidden throughout the video. Be sure to watch until the end and find them all. Soon, the two of us were cornered by a massive boulder with nowhere to run.
Use your new powers. Hurry!
I decided to try and smash into the boulder, creating an explosion beneath me. The rock blew up, clearing the path. Whoa, with this kind of power, I might be able to avenge my parents.
And I can help. We could be a team.
Just then, a magma soldier stopped us in our tracks.
That's sweet. But this is the end of the line for you two.
We braced ourselves as the terrifying warrior charged towards us. On days 8 through 10, I was fighting against the Magma Soldier. He used his fire barrage attacks on me, forcing me to come back at him with powerful explosion abilities of my own. Unfortunately, his flames were too hot. I was losing this battle.
What's the matter? Scared you'll burn up like your parents?
Don't you dare talk about my mom and dad. I felt my anger about to explode. Luckily, Creed intervened.
I've got this, Max. Here, take this map and go get the next upgrade before it's too late.
The soldier went for Creed, and I took my chance to run while I still could. I followed the map and arrived at a massive dig site. Unfortunately, the upgrade was nowhere to be seen. It must be buried underground. On days 11 through 14, I used my TNT powers to mine quickly through the dig site in search of the lost artifact. As I blasted through the ground, resources flew everywhere, and eventually I made my way towards massive magma pools. I evaded the pools of death as I inched closer towards my prize. I was too far in to turn back now. Just a bit more. It has to be here. Thanks to my TNT powers, I finally managed to hit bedrock. I searched, and to my luck, I found the next relic. Unfortunately, the artifact was secured by a few blocks of more bedrock. Not even TNT can break through bedrock. How am I supposed to get the artifact? Before I had time to think, the Magma Soldier crashed down before me. It looked like he'd gotten bigger and angrier.
You thought that little baby creeper could stop me? The Giant Magma Golem has your friend now.
Without warning, the warrior charged at me full force. I tried to fend him off, but things were looking bad. Without the upgrade, I was doomed to lose this battle. On days 15 through 17, I tried to fend off the soldier, but I was starting to get overpowered.
That's it! I'm ending this!
I knew he was about to go all in, so I came up with a bright idea. Hey, hothead, come and get me! Using myself as bait, I lured the enemy towards the artifact. The soldier charged forward, smashing into the bedrock blocks behind me, shattering them to pieces. Thanks a lot! I grabbed the artifact, gained 5 hearts, and even more explosive abilities. It's time for you to taste my real power! With my new strength, I fought back, finally matching him in combat. Not even his fiery body was enough to stop me now. With one final blow, I defeated him, causing him to drop a map upon his death. Nether prison? That must be where Creed is. I have to help him. I used the materials I had gathered from my mining endeavors to build a nether portal and hurried to the other side. I had to save Creed before it was too late. On days 18 through 21, I arrived in the nether to find myself surrounded by lava. This place is a death trap for a TNT golem like me. I have to be careful. Suddenly, an armored ghast spotted me from the sky above.
Intruder! You will be arrested!
The ghast began to shoot fireballs down onto me, forcing me to run for my life. I tried to hit him back with my TNT projectiles, but he was fast enough to dodge them. I have to run! There's no other way! I made a run for it as the armored ghast followed me through the skies of the nether. He continued to shoot fireballs in my path, nearly igniting me, but I managed to avoid them for now. However, I was soon stopped in my tracks as I was cornered by a pit of lava.
Nowhere to run, Golem. You're mine now.
On days 22 through 25, the armored ghast was closing in on me. Just before he reached me, I used my TNT cannon attack to blast the ceiling. Rubble crashed out, knocking the ghast out. You're not catching me that easily. I turned and found a path around the lava pit. I hurried away, but the armored ghast quickly woke up. Jeez, I gotta hurry! I managed to make it to the end of the lava pit and dashed behind cover. I watched as the ghast flew by, missing me for now. That was a little too risky, but the prison has to be close. I just need to go a bit further. I pushed forward and soon came upon the huge prison fortress. Unfortunately, it was being patrolled by even more armored ghasts. One was tough to deal with, but now there was a whole army. There's no way I'm getting past them with brute force. I'll have to stealth my way through this one. I began to sneak towards the prison entrance, moving from cover to cover. I was making good progress, but was stopped by a ghast guard.
Halt! What is your reason for entry?
I turned and saw a second ghast coming up to me. I had to think of a distraction fast. On days 26 through 28, I was cornered and needed to think of something quick. Hey, what's that over there?
What? I don't see anything.
When the ghast turned, I used my powers to launch a block of TNT away from me, causing an explosion on the other side of the prison.
What was that?
The ghast suddenly flew over to investigate, allowing me to continue on. I have to be more careful. One more close call like that, and I'll be toast. I turned back to the door,
but it was locked with a puzzle. I frantically typed in different codes, but nothing seemed to work. The guards were nearly back. Looks like it's time for Plan B. I used my powers to blast open the wall by force, triggering an alarm to go off. I took my head start and ran before the guards caught up to me. Hang in there, Creed! I'm coming! On days 29 through 32, I rushed through the prison and soon found Creed locked behind some iron doors.
Max, you came back for me!
Of course I did, buddy! Let's get you out of there. Suddenly, a fireball shot in my direction. I whipped around and found a guard floating before me.
Stop right there, intruder!
Looks like I'm gonna need some backup. This is not good. I used my powers to free the other entities in the prison along with Creed. They charged at the guard and my friend, and we escaped together scot-free. I made it outside of the prison where more guards were waiting for us. Out of my way, freaks! I used my power to fight the guards. I wouldn't go down so easily. They were tough, but I managed to trap them in a nearby cave by blocking the path with rubble.
Max, while I was trapped, I heard the guards talking about another upgrade. We need to get it.
Then run ahead without me. I'll check it out. I followed the lead down into a cavern where an upgrade was sitting on a pedestal. As I stepped forward, the ground shook as a massive magma beast dropped down before me. Without hesitation, the monster lunged at me and I braced myself. On days 33 through 35, I was in a heated battle with a powerful magma beast. He used his ferocious claws and fangs on me, overwhelming me with his flames. I tried to fight back with explosive attacks of my own, trying to keep myself from catching fire, but he was way too tough. If I'm gonna have any chance to win this battle, I'm gonna need that upgrade. I slammed my fist into the ground, creating an explosion that dazed my opponent. This allowed me to break away and sprint for the upgrade. As I picked it up, I instantly gained 5 hearts and new powers. The magma beast came running after me, but I was able to defeat him with my new powers. Time to get out of the nether. I returned to my portal, only for one of the armored ghast to try and stop me again. You don't want to mess with me. I have the power of the 3rd upgrade on my side.
A third what?
Using my new powers, I defeated them once and for all. As he fell, I heard reinforcements coming quickly. I quickly jumped through the portal, escaping the nether. On days 36 through 39, I arrived at the other side of the portal and found Creed waiting for me.
You made it back! Thanks for saving me again.
I'm just glad you're okay. Suddenly, the ground shook around us as an explosion went off. I looked over and saw a plume of smoke rising into the sky.
Oh no, that looks like my home. My parents are there.
Let's move, now! We arrived at the source of the fire to find a creeper village was being destroyed by a magma dragon.
All will submit to the might of the Giant Magma Golem.
He was cornering Creed's parents, leaving them with nowhere to go.
Mom! Dad!
My boy, run! Hurry!
The dragon slashed at Creed's parents, killing them instantly in cold blood and unleashing a flurry of fire onto the rest of the village.
No!
Let this serve as a warning. Never cross the Magma Golem.
Suddenly, he turned and flew away. You're not getting away with this! Get back here! I chased after him. But to my horror, he fired a flame attack straight at me. I was going to explode. On days 40 through 43, I was on the edge of explosion. Just as I was sure this was the end, Creed pushed me into the water, narrowly putting me out.
Are you okay? I thought that was gonna be the end of us both.
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks to you. Ugh, but that monster, I couldn't catch him.
He killed my parents and destroyed my home. I'm all alone and there's nowhere to go.
You may not have somewhere to stay, but you're not alone. Let's stick together, you and me, as brothers.
I like that, more than anything.
Suddenly, one of the few surviving creepers approached us.
Listen, I haven't got much time left before I die, but I want to help if I can. You'll never stop that dragon at your current strength. Take this map. It leads to the explosive relic. If you get the relic, you might stand a chance against that beast.
Explosive relic, huh? Sounds powerful. Let's go, Creed.
Thank you. I won't let the creepers down.
Godspeed.
The two of us set off together, searching for the relic marked on the map. Soon, we arrived at the location, only to find a huge boulder.
Why did it take us to a rock? Is that the relic?
It's not about the rock, it's about what's inside. I used my powers and blasted the boulder open. As the dust settled, the explosive relic was revealed. Bingo! Just before I could claim the relic, a massive lava creature crashed down in front of me.
Well, well, look what we have here. Oh, the boss is going to love this.
On days 44 through 46, I was face to face with the Giant Magma Golem's right-hand man. Get out of my way and I'll let you live.
As if you're both mine now.
He ran in and struck me with his blazing sword. I tried to fend him off for the artifact, but he was like a wall.
Is that all you've got?
He tried to go in and land a finishing blow, but Creed joined in with a creeper bomb attack, saving me.
Leave my brother alone!
How funny.
He hit him with a fireball attack, weakening Creed close to death. However, before he could land the finishing blow, I ran in and took the hit instead.
Max!
Hurry, Creed! Run before it's too late! Creed escaped as Commander Blaze approached me.
You just made a big mistake, TNT Golem. I've got plans for you.
He took the artifact and hit me with another blow, knocking me out. On days 47 through 50, I woke up trapped in a cage. I looked around and found the Giant Magma Golem looming before me.
Hey, you. You're finally awake.
You? Where am I? Why are you doing all of this?
It's no matter where we are. And as for why I'm doing what I do, well, you should know better than anyone else. You are a feared entity, much like myself.
What are you talking about?
Fire creatures like me are looked at as bringers of chaos. Similarly, TNT golems rain chaos just as much, if not more. Us fire entities have been forced into hiding, deep within the nether. We're not to bother surface mobs, but you are free to roam the overworld at leisure. After my plans are complete, I will bring flames everywhere, taking what is rightfully mine. The fire entities will rule over all.
You can't do that! You can't just take what you want by force! Not if I have anything to say about it!
Oh, but you don't. In fact, you're going to help me.
There is no way I'm helping a psychopath like you.
Maybe not willingly, but I plan to put those explosive powers to work. You see, fire may be chaotic, but it is nothing compared to an explosion. I am going to manufacture you into the most powerful bomb ever created. See you on the other side.
The golem flipped a switch, and the ground opened beneath me. I fell through darkness, unsure of where I would land. On days 51 through 54, I landed on a conveyor belt in a massive factory. I was about to be manufactured into a bomb. This is bad. I just need to find a way to get to the other side of this thing. I had to navigate obstacles as I tried to make it to the end of the conveyor belt in one piece. The first obstacle I encountered was a massive crusher. I used my powers and smashed through the crusher just before I was made into a pancake. One down, two to go. My next obstacle was a flamethrower, which was powered on, spraying fire all over the conveyor belt. How am I meant to avoid that? If this thing ignites me, it's game over. I spotted a nearby control panel and blasted it. It exploded, causing the flamethrowers to malfunction and power off. I managed to slip through the hazard unscathed. The final obstacle of the conveyor belt was a massive grinder. What does this have to do with building things? I used my explosives to give myself a boost, allowing me to jump over the grinder. Woohoo! Now let's see what's in that other room. Soon, I made it to the end of the conveyor belt and emerged into a new area. I had found myself in a room full of gunpowder. If I use my explosive powers here, this whole place is gonna blow.
Then there's nowhere for you to run.
Suddenly, a massive beast with scales as tough as armor came forward, preparing to apprehend me.
You're coming with me.
He suddenly ran in and attacked me. On days 55 through 57, I tried to dodge the armored beast as he attempted to crush me beneath his claws. I wanted to fight back, but even a small explosion could turn this room into a nuke. Regardless, I had to do something, so I tried using my punch attacks without explosions. Unfortunately, without my explosions, I was completely overwhelmed.
What's the matter? Can't use your TNT powers?
The beast came in with a claw attack, dealing big damage. I had to think of something fast, or I was done for. Just then, I spotted the exit. I ran towards it, but he caught me with a wild slash attack. I can't run from this one. I have to keep him busy somehow. I searched around and noticed a grinder against the wall. Well, it's worth a shot. The beats landed right in front of me, and I used another punch attack, knocking them back into the grinder. It held him still, but his armored scales stopped him from being shredded.
What are you doing?
showing you the power of a TNT Golem. I dashed out of the room and blasted an explosive magma block into it. The crates of gunpowder ignited, and the room was blown to smithereens, taking the beast with it. Bomba! As the rubble settled, I spotted a map to a village with the title Golem Upgrade. I quickly went to pick it up. Looks like another item that could help me. I better check it out. On days 58 through 61, I arrived at the location on the map to find a village full of ender golems. However, the place had been damaged badly. Oh no, I had to make sure they're okay. I rushed into the village to help, but to my surprise, 2 ender golems jumped in and attacked me.
You're coming with me, criminal. Prepare for trouble.
And make it double.
Criminal? But I'm a golem like you. This has to be a misunderstanding.
Save it for the king.
I was taken to the throne room where the king ender golem was waiting for me.
So you're the one who destroyed our village. I should have known. You're a TNT golem after all.
You don't understand. I would never do that. TNT golems are more than just destruction. We have a heart exploding with feelings and emotion.
Save it. For the crimes you've committed, you will be faced with death.
Suddenly, the wall smashed open as the infernal knight arrived on the scene.
You will all fall to the power of the Giant Magma Golem.
I braced myself as the monster came in to attack me and the king. On days 62 through 64, the Ender Golem village was under attack by the infernal monster.
Guards, slay this intruder.
The guards tried to fend off the threat, leaving them distracted as I slipped away while I had the chance. I can't defeat that thing as I am now. I need to find the next upgrade. As I was retreating, I discovered a switch on the wall and flipped it, revealing a secret passageway. I passed through it and found myself in a room with a puzzle, sealing the upgrade on the other side. I noticed a sign on the wall, and I read its instructions. Ignite the flames to see what remains. I can do that. I used my TNT powers to light up netherrack scattered across the room. A few were just out of reach, but thanks to the splash of my explosions, I was still able to light them. As I lit up a dark corner, I noticed a small creature hiding. Sadly, it got caught up in my explosions and got away. Did you see that? Be sure to rewatch the video at 0.25 speed and tell me what was lurking in the dark. Just then, something clicked, and a glass passageway opened up. Behind the door stood the artifact I was looking for. I ran forward and grabbed it. I grew in power, gaining 5 hearts and new powers. Suddenly, the ground shook, and I realized things were getting bad on the surface. Sounds like Ender Golems are in trouble. I better help them. I quickly ran back to the surface before it was too late. On days 65 through 67, I returned to the surface and found the Ender King Golem about to be slain by the Infernal Knight.
Any last words?
Leave him alone! I used my powers to knock the monster away, allowing the king to take cover.
Finally, a worthy opponent.
The infernal monster came after me, launching fiery slam attacks. I fought back, using my new Ender Blast attack to shoot him back. The knight was quick and powerful, but with my new upgrade, I was able to keep up with him.
No, this can't be. Only one who possesses the Golem artifact can defeat me.
Luckily, I just got one of those. I used my Ender Blast power to destroy the infernal monster, ending his terror. As I rested after the battle, the King Ender Golem approached me.
I believe I owe you an apology. You saved me and my people. I am sorry I misjudged you.
No worries. I understand. You just wanted to protect your home.
I think we golems should be working together. Would you form an alliance with me? I will teach you the ways of my people.
I would be honored to. On days 68 through 72, I was training under the Ender Golems to become even stronger. I was vigorously training, fighting against training dummies, practicing my aim on targets, and sparring with other golems. After a long day of training, the king stepped forward.
You have trained well, young one. Our final challenge awaits you. Come with me.
The king then led me to a secluded area out of the training grounds.
If you wish to grow, you must let go of your regrets.
My regrets?
That's right. They will prevent you from finding your inner power. Focus on your past mistakes and let them go.
I started to focus heavily on my previous battles, how each one I fought with all of my might and how far I'd grown from each. Finally, I started remembering the time my parents died and how I wasn't strong enough to save them. I snapped back to reality and created a small explosion around me. Mom, Dad, I don't know if I could ever forgive myself for what happened to them.
You must let them go. They would want you to move on.
I'll try. For them. I started focusing again on the incident, watching as they fell. I'm so sorry, Mom and Dad, but you would want me to move on, so I must. Suddenly, a new power surged within me. I gained more hearts with an upgraded golden ender blast.
That's it. Now, continue to grow your inner strength, and you will see even more results.
Our celebration was cut short as an ender golem rushed into the area.
Sir, we found a fire base that could give us another clue on the Giant Magma Golem's whereabouts. Here, take this.
The ender golem threw a map down for us. You guys go join up with my other allies and continue training. I'll start heading to the base. I took the map and set off to where the fire base's location was. On days 73 through 75, I snuck up to the base full of fire entities. I gotta lay low, get the information, and get out of here in one piece. Time to move. The magma golem's men were scoping the scene with prying eyes, but I wasn't in their line of sight yet. As I was looking at the base, a little creature ran by in the corner of my eye. Did y'all see that? Rewatch the video at 0.25 speed and comment down below what the creature was. I was able to quietly make my way behind a tree and listen to the fire entity's plan.
All right, men. The Giant Magma Golem had given us his direct orders.
Are you sure this is going to work? I mean, burning the whole world? Doesn't that sound a bit crazy?
You dare question your leader? Men, get him!
I watched in horror as the fire guard was killed by his own ally with no hesitation.
Now then listen closely. On day 100, the Giant Magma Golem will engulf the world in lava. Soon all fire entities will rise up and take what is rightfully ours.
The entire world covered in lava? But that would kill everyone and everything! I tried to make my getaway, but as I tried to escape, I walked right into a berry bush. Uh-oh.
Who goes there?
As the guards turned to look at where the sound came from, I ran away as fast as I could.
Oh, no you don't! You're mine!
On days 76 through 79, I was being chased by the terrifying Fire Knight Ignis. He fired down flames onto me as I tried my best to avoid them. I tried to return the favor and throw him off with my explosives, but he easily tanked the hits thanks to his armor.
I've been trained to kill the likes of you. Your TNT won't pierce my defenses.
I was trapped as more guards arrived, and before I knew it, I was completely surrounded. Come on, think, Max! I can't be captured now! I spotted a dam in the distance and got an idea. I fired my TNT at the dam, causing it to rumble and shake.
It's gonna collapse! Run!
It worked. I blew up the dam, causing water to flood the area. During the moment of distraction, I slipped away from the group. The water flooded the area, engulfing anything that got in its way, including Ignis.
You pest! You pay for this!
Unfortunately, I was also swallowed by the rising water. I was swept away by the current, unable to control my direction. On days 80 through 83, I woke up at the bottom of the ocean, stuck under a bunch of rubble. The water must have swept me under here. I gotta get out of here before I drown. I tried to use my powers, but the rocks wouldn't budge. I realized my TNT didn't work underwater. Oh no, how am I supposed to get out now? My thoughts were overwhelming. But in that moment, I suddenly remembered the words of the Ender Golem King. Focus on your inner golem. I can't panic. I have to calm down. I steadied my mind and reflected back on all my training. Just then, I felt a rush of new power surge within me. I felt myself transformed to an even stronger being than before. I had obtained an underwater TNT. I wasted no time trying out my new power and blasted myself free, launching myself back to land. Looks like I lost those guards, but there's no time to waste. I need to tell my friends about the Giant Magma Golem's evil plans before it's too late. On days 84 through 86, I reunited with my allies where I told them about the information I found. The king also looked much healthier since his village was no longer under siege. We have to find a way to get stronger. Everyone brainstorm and come back to me with your ideas. We all broke up and I suddenly spotted Creed standing alone. What's the matter, buddy?
Oh, hi, Max. I'm just thinking about my family. I wish you could have met them. They died because of me, Max. And now the Giant Magma Golem is gonna kill my new family too!
Don't say that. I promise I'll stop at nothing until we avenge them.
You'd really do that for me, Max?
Of course. You're my brother after all.
Thank you, Max.
Suddenly, the Ender Golem King approached me with news.
I found another lead, but it looks dangerous.
Then I better check this one out alone. I got this. On days 87 through 89, I followed the king's directions until I arrived at a giant shrine. This must be the place. Better move quickly and carefully. I navigated the shrine, but as I was moving, I accidentally set off a trap. Flames ignited from under me, but I quickly dodged them. Phew, that was a close one. I was almost toast. I quickly continued up towards the middle of the shrine, watching my step. I finally arrived at a platform where the upgrade I was seeking was up just a few stairs. Yes, there it is.
Thanks for finding that for me, Golem.
Suddenly, the magma dragon that destroyed Creed's home dropped down before me. You again? I won't let you escape this time. You'll pay for what you did.
Big talk for such a small golem. Bring it on.
We both rushed at each other and got locked in a heated fight. He used his wing attacks on me as I returned the favor and fought back with my plethora of abilities. We were evenly matched, but the magma dragon had another trick up their sleeve.
What's the matter? Scared we're going to let little Creed down a second time?
You get his name out of your mouth! I tried to strike him down, but he quickly dodged the attack.
You are weak. Anger is all you are good for, and more of your friends will die because of it.
Why, you? I was getting too hot. I was about to boil over and explode, but then I started to remember my dad's words.
Son, calm down. You must never lose your temper. Otherwise, you'll explode just like the others.
No, Dad was right. I have to stay calm. Suddenly, the dragon struck me with a fireball attack. I left my guard down for too long, leaving me wide open. On days 90 through 92, I thought I was a goner, but Creed jumped in and snatched the upgrade while the magma dragon was distracted.
You leave my brother alone!
And just like that, Creed used the new upgrade to turn into a mutant creeper. Creed blasted a ball lightning attack at the dragon, which was enough to force him back.
Well, if it isn't a little creeper from before, we had fun killing your parents all that time ago.
You've hurt me and my family enough. I'm getting my revenge.
I watched as Creed began to fight the dangerous magma dragon with his new powers. The magma dragon tried to fight back with his wing and flame attacks, but he was no match for Creed's new strength.
I see you have become a worthy foe.
I don't care what you think of me. I'm doing this for my people.
Creed used one final ball lightning attack to strike down the dragon once and for all. He dropped something when he died, and Creed quickly picked it up. Creed, you saved me!
Of course, that horrible monster had to die.
As we tried to catch our breath, we heard the sound of reinforcements getting closer.
The commander should be just up ahead. It's time for you to get your revenge. I'll stay here and take care of the backup.
But I couldn't defeat the magma dragon. How am I gonna stop him?
With this.
Creed handed me Asgad's dragon scales, which gave me stronger armor.
You've got this, bro. Good luck.
Thanks, Creed. I couldn't have done this without you. I rushed onwards, trying to prepare myself for what was to come. On days 93 through 95, I arrived at the new area to find Commander Blaze waiting for me. He was standing in front of the entrance to the Giant Magma Golem's fortress.
Well, if it isn't the little TNT Golem, come to fight.
Don't underestimate me. I've gotten stronger since our last encounter.
A lot of talk coming from a walking safety hazard. One little spark, and you'll burst under the pressure.
I'm not afraid of a little fire. I'll take you down, and then the Giant Magma Golem will fall next.
I think it's time that you ate those words.
Suddenly, he rushed in and used his blazing sword attacks on me. The battle had begun. He was just as powerful as I remembered, but I had grown as well. I used my powerful attacks to try and take down Blaze, but he quickly dodged and rushed back in. Our powers were evenly matched at this round. We were neck and neck.
Not bad for a puny TNT Golem, but I think it's time that I wrapped this up.
Suddenly, he hit me with a surprise fireball attack, leaving me weak. No, I can't fall here. I must avenge! Before I could finish my sentence, I blacked out. On days 96 through 98, I was inside a dream world unlike anything I've ever seen before. What is this place? Where am I?
Hello, son.
Suddenly, my mom and dad manifested right before my eyes. Mom? Dad? How are you here? The Giant Magma Golem,
This is a place between time and space. You can talk to anyone, even the dead.
I don't know what to do. I'm losing this battle. I'm a failure to our people.
Don't say that, Max. You've accomplished so much.
How can you be so sure? You haven't been around.
Because we've always been watching over you. You've helped so many people and defeated numerous enemies that would have crushed someone unprepared. With your bravery and strength, you've shown the world that the TNT Golems are not violent mobs. We wish to live in peace, but most of all, ensure the peace of all the other creatures that inhabited this place.
You really believe that?
Of course we do. We're prouder of you than words can express.
But it's time that you finished this journey. The finish line is just ahead.
But how am I supposed to stop Commander Blaze?
This power you're seeking has lied deep within you all along. Don't be afraid, son. We will be right behind you.
We love you, Max.
I woke up back in the living world, dodging the finishing blow from the commander.
Not giving up, eh?
I'm just getting started. I rushed forward. I wasn't gonna go down without a fight. On day 99, I clashed once again with Commander Blaze, but this time I was determined to win the battle and end his reign once and for all. I used a powerful lightning lance attack, showing him my true strength.
Haven't you learned this isn't enough to stop me?
Commander Blaze suddenly ran in and used a blazing sword attack to try and strike me down, but I dodged and remembered my dad's words. That's because true power lies deep within. Suddenly, I used a laser attack that I had never used before. It struck the commander head on, causing him to take massive damage.
What the? No, this can't be!
For my people! Before the commander could retake his footing, I quickly overwhelmed him with my new powers, defeating him once and for all. Upon his death, he dropped an upgrade. But as I was going to pick it up, I noticed something about it that felt familiar. Creed escaped as Commander Blaze approached me.
You just made a big mistake, TNT Golem. I've got plans for you.
He took the artifact and hit me with another blow, knocking me out. Wait, I've seen this before. This is the upgrade he took from me all of those days ago. I claimed what was rightfully mine. As I did, I gained 10 hearts. As I finished powering up, I saw something interesting scurry in fear of my might. Did you find all the Easter eggs? Be sure to rewatch the video and comment below where you spotted them. Suddenly, the entrance to the fortress opened before me. It's time to end this once and for all. Watch out, Giant Magma Golem! On day 100, I entered the fortress where the Giant Magma Golem was waiting on his throne, ready to unleash his flames across the entire world.
Well, if it isn't the TNT Golem that's been stirring up trouble, I should have killed you with the rest of your people.
You won't provoke me this time. I'm gonna make you pay for everything you did to this world and all of the mobs you hurt.
Brave words coming from you. Are you so sure you can stop me?
Of course I am. I've made it this far, haven't I?
Then let's see those words in action.
My strongest foe yet immediately attacked. I worked forward to retaliate and began the toughest battle of my life.
You won't defeat me. The world will be mine.
I used every power I had, but he was a strong opponent. It was neck and neck.
Time for me to show you my true power.
He unleashed attack after attack, overwhelming me. It felt like I might actually lose. No, this can't be.
Such a long journey for it just to end here. Any last words?
You're going down with me. I quickly set myself on fire, ready to self-destruct and take down the golem in front of me.
What? No!
So long, you monster. I self-destructed, taking the Giant Magma Golem down with me. I was dead, but I could feel my spirit being dragged away. On day 101, I spawned into a massive graveyard as a baby spirit golem. All of the other spirit inhabitants were running for their lives as the necromancer appeared on his phantom horse. His army of the undead swooped in from the skies above and brought terror onto our home.
Rid these souls, messengers, and give me what is rightfully mine.
The messengers of the dead attacked the spirits with everything they had. Even though they were already dead, the messengers had the power to make them cease to exist altogether. How is this possible? Suddenly, the necromancer appeared in front of me.
You've escaped me once, but you won't again.
He charged at me with the intent to kill. Galloping at full speed on horseback, the necromancer tried to swipe at me with his sharp polearm. Luckily, I was able to dodge the end of the blade by an inch. He was able to recover quickly from my swift movements, using his horse to pivot around with pinpoint precision. The horseman took to the skies and came hurtling down towards me like a comet. I did my best to defend myself, but against the might of the Necromancer Knight, I was powerless. The thunderous hoofbeats of his steed signaled the windup of a powerful attack from his gigantic glaive. What did I do? I just spawned! I couldn't keep up the fight, so I took my chance and ran outside of the graveyard.
Men, after that golem!
On day 102, I was being chased through a haunted forest by the Necromancer's army. I tried to shake him off my tail, but more of his undead goons crawled up from the ground around me. I tried to use my fight ability to my advantage, but his ghostly minions came down from the sky too. They're everywhere! Unfortunately, I was soon met with a dead end.
I was completely surrounded by the Necromancer's messengers. The goons closed in on me, and I knew I wasn't gonna make it. Out of my way! Suddenly, my powers as a spirit golem manifested in the form of a haunting scythe. I now had a way to defend myself. I clutched my new weapon and charged into battle. They had an advantage in numbers, but I wasn't gonna go down without a fight. I started swatting them with my scythe, dealing loads of damage to the multitude of enemies. I ripped through the haunted souls, taking them out in groups with my rapid swipes. One by one, the horde is getting cold after each power strike, sending the wraiths and ghouls to their graves. With each group of ghosts I sent to the afterlife, I regained small bursts of health that allowed me to keep fighting. Even as their numbers dwindled, more undead emerged from the ground beneath my feet. It didn't seem like a fair fight, but with my new weapon, I powered through the Necromancer's minions. After a lot of slicing and dicing, I managed to defeat the horde. Who's next? Just then, the ground opened up beneath me and some creepy ghosts dragged me down into the depths below. On day 103, I woke up inside of a cave where a massive gravedigger was looming over me.
The Necromancer will be pleased when I hand you over to him.
Not on my watch! I took my scythe and jumped into battle. He opened up the fight, trying to chop me in two, but while I was able to dodge it outright, he followed it up by spinning his spade around his body, hitting me with a wide area of effect. I fought back with my spiritual slashes, but the gravedigger wasn't about to fight fair. He kneeled down and pulled a ghoul out from the cobbles and tossed him onto the battlefield. The gravedigger's mini minions swarmed me both on the ground and through the air. I was able to extinguish most of them, but the gravedigger was relentless with his attacks. I couldn't keep up. Despite using my new powers, the gravedigger proved to be too powerful of a foe. He hit me with a heavy blow, leaving me with low health. The gravedigger prepared to land the final blow, when out of nowhere a mysterious girl appeared and blasted him with her magical powers.
Leave him alone!
The girl began to duke it out with the massive gravedigger. It was an enchantress versus the undead. The battle was close. Either side could give in at any moment. Unfortunately, the gravedigger had something up his sleeve.
Get the golem, men.
He sent his goons flying at me. I braced myself for the end, but to my surprise, the girl teleported in front of me.
He's too powerful. Run!
Me and the girl took off running as the gravedigger followed. On days 104 through 105, the strange girl and I were being chased by the gravedigger's ghouls through an intricate tunnel system. Who are you? A ghoul popped out in front of us, and the girl blasted it down with her magical abilities.
Name's Alice, but let's keep moving. These guys are gonna kill us.
We kept running, but the gravedigger's men continued to follow us through the tunnel maze. Things got worse when his minions came out all around us, cornering us into one spot. We're surrounded!
Fools! I carved these tunnels myself. You cannot escape.
With nowhere to go, we were forced to try and fight our way through his undead horde. The goons all charged in at us. I used my spirit scythe, eliminating a couple of skeletons. Alice jumped in to aid me in battle and used her powerful magic to heal me when I needed it. Whenever she came into contact with the mobs, she used her umbrella as a weapon to plow into them. As the swarm was beginning to be too much for her, I rushed in to help her as well, slicing down the undead bit by bit. Alice then transformed her umbrella into a massive scythe to thin the horde as the battle continued. More and more goons kept coming up from the ground. We fought with all of our might, but it wasn't enough to take down the army. We had to get creative.
Stand back.
Alice used her incredible powers to open a hole in the ground, causing all of the goons to fall into the depths. Things were looking up, until one of the goons snuck up from behind and knocked my friend into her own trap. Alice! Without thinking, I jumped into the hole after her. On days 106 through 107, I floated down into the hole to find a mysterious cavern, but Alice was nowhere in sight. Hello? Just then, a massive end beast jumped out from the shadows. One look at the beast and I could tell I was outmatched. Its huge size and powerful jaws could crush me in an instant. I ran for my life as the beast stampeded after me. I couldn't shake it off, and it was gaining on me fast. As I was about to give up, I spotted a strange temple door in the distance. I have to take my chances. I swooped into the structure in hopes of losing the monster. However, the door soon shut behind me, locking me inside. I have a bad feeling about this. The room shook violently and lava began to flow down from the ceiling above. I flew up to gain some space, but the boiling magma was creeping its way higher and higher. I need to find a way out of here, or get burned alive! On days 108 through 109, the room was slowly filling with lava. I had to find a way out before it was too late. I flew around the perimeter of the room, but the place was sealed shut. I was running out of time. Suddenly, I spotted a button on the ceiling. I pressed it as a last resort, and a secret passageway opened up. Bingo! I fled through it just before the lava was able to scorch me. When I made it to the other side, I heard footsteps approaching. I took cover behind some nearby rocks, narrowly avoiding some of the Gravedigger's goons as they walked by. What are they up to? I quietly followed behind the minions and was led to an area where Alice was trapped in a cage hanging over a pit of acidic lava. Oh no! Alice is in trouble! I couldn't leave her like this, so I quickly flew in and landed a surprise attack on the minions. I charged in and immediately struck at the horde of baby skeletons with my cleaving spirit scythe, knocking them into the air. I slashed and sliced in an aerial combo, knocking them down like bowling pins. Their numbers were great, and their durability was surprising. They were able to grab me and do lots of damage with their tiny skeleton hands. I used the powers of my scythe to push a handful of them into the bubbling acid below, melting them to nothing. My health was low, but I managed to take out all of the horde. Or so I thought.
Max, look out!
I turned around and to my horror spotted one of the goons pulling a lever. The floor vanished beneath Alice's feet and she fell down towards the boiling pit of sludge. No! On days 110 and 111, I unleashed a powerful spell that caused a platform to appear above the acid pit, saving Alice. Whoa, I have more untapped magic than I thought.
You'll pay for that.
More stronger looking goons dropped down and quickly surrounded Alice.
You're messing with the wrong witch.
The goons quickly charged in, overwhelming her. She swung her umbrella in a circle to keep them from getting in close. The golems were tiny but quick, so they were still able to keep their pursuit on her. There were a lot of them, so I decided to jump in and aid her in combat. I used my scythe's power to thin the herd of monsters. But as we did, more would jump into battle. A combination of the necromancer skeleton goons swarmed the area with their numbers increasing by the second. We continued the onslaught, taking out as many as we could. There were too many. We were fighting a losing battle.
Quick, go deeper into the temple cave system. There, you will find the key to ending this fight.
Sounds like a plan. Alice held off the goons while I ran deeper inside. Eventually, I found myself in a massive room that held a mysterious rune. Something about its magical properties drew me in closer. Is this what Alice wanted me to find? Just then, the Gravedigger dropped down in front of me.
You're not getting your hands on that.
He lifted his shovel and ran towards me. On days 112 through 114, I was fighting with the Gravedigger in an attempt to claim the magical rune. I was still no match for his strength. One wrong move brought me down to low health and I was a single hit away from death. I have to risk it all! In a moment of desperation, I lunged for the rune. My gamble paid off and I got my hands on the artifact. In an instant, visions of my past flashed before my eyes. I saw a masked man tinkering with different objects as well as the necromancers stalking him like prey. I snapped back to reality and my body transformed. I sprouted 2 legs and my chest became bigger. My green spiritual magic shifted to teal and I gained 5 more hearts. I was now an adult spirit golem. What were those visions? I didn't have time to think as the Gravedigger continued his onslaught. This time, I was much stronger and ready for this battle. His onslaught began by him grabbing one of his scary-looking minions from the ground and throwing them at me. The Gravedigger fought like he already had a plot of land with my name on it. With my new powers, I countered back, summoning my Scythe Demon to attack. The dark spirit I summoned was extremely powerful, launching back my foe and his minions with amazing force. More and more of his goons kept coming, and I eliminated them one by one with my power spirit swipe. My larger golem body was able to match my enemy in size and made it easier to take out the lesser goons. The Gravedigger used his shovel to send shockwaves into the ground, causing some minor damage to my health. Since my hearts were increased by this newfound power, I wasn't fazed. Thanks to my new strength, I sent the undead foe off the edge of the platform and to his doom. Was that masked man from my vision my creator? I need to find him. He has to be the key to stopping the necromancer. Suddenly, the room trembled violently and Alice ran inside.
This place is gonna collapse. We have to get out of here.
On days 115 through 117, Alice and I ran through the temple as it collapsed around us. I saw a glimpse of hope when I caught sight of an exit. However, it was robbed from me as rubble fell down into our path. No! The integrity of the cave collapsed beneath our feet, causing us to fall into a massive hole. With my new form, I could no longer fly. I blacked out. I woke up and found myself in a deep dark biome. Are you okay, Alice? Just then, a winged warden flew up to us. Alice and I held our breaths as the terrifying creature listened to our whereabouts. We can't make a sound. That guy is bad news. We began to stealth our way through the deep dark, trying to narrowly avoid the warden around each twist and turn. I made one wrong move, stepping on a skulk sensor, and the warden looked in my direction. I froze up and waited without moving a muscle. Luckily, it couldn't detect my movements and continued moving. Finally, we spotted a mysterious passage that could serve as an exit. Just a little more. I began to walk towards it, but in my excitement, I foolishly stepped on a skull shrieker, alerting a winged warden. His screech caused a horde of wardens to emerge from the ground. There was no hiding now. The powerful mob surrounded us. On days 118 through 120, the horde of wardens charged towards us. The wardens all simultaneously reared back and let out a sonic screech. Alice and I split up, and the wardens divided their attention between the two of us. I fought off 3 wardens with my spirit scythe while Alice was completely surrounded by them. The beasts were incredibly powerful, but we couldn't give up yet. With Alice's help, we managed to defeat the cursed mobs. With their death, they dropped an Ender Soul hand. This'll come in handy. Suddenly, the ground began to tremble again, and tons more of other wardens appeared around us. I didn't even hit a shrieker this time!
The necromancer must be controlling the spirits on their chest. Brace yourself!
We prepared ourselves as the horde of wardens attacked for round 2. We tried doing the same as we had before, but one group of wardens was hard enough to defeat. Facing army after army was impossible for us.
We can't win. Hurry into the passage and find a way out of here.
I reluctantly listened to Alice and entered the escape route. On days 121 through 123, I entered a strange area where a mysterious rune was floating on a pedestal. What's that? I walked towards the artifact when the ground began to tremble beneath my feet. To my horror, a massive mutant warden burrowed up from under the surface. I braced myself as the beast of the deep dark lunged at me. I was immediately blinded and felt the earth shake as it charged towards me. It landed a heavy hit, but I hit back using my psychic powers. He assaulted me, bashing me with his massive hands and cutting me with his razor-sharp claws. I backed away to get some breathing room when suddenly it jumped at me, slamming into the ground and releasing a shockwave of rocks and debris. I teleported away, but the monster bounded across the room at incredible speed, catching up to me in an instant. I teleported away again, desperate for a chance to collect myself, when I saw the beast burrow into the ground. I had no idea where it had gone or where it was going until it suddenly burst out of the earth in front of me, catching me off guard and landing some heavy hits with his giant claws. I gathered my strength and retaliated with a spinning scythe attack, slicing effortlessly through the air and into it. I unleashed my soul siphon attack, stealing health from him with every hit, allowing myself to be healed as I continued to fight the beast. I was stuck getting launched into the air, but bounced back and let loose the flurry of lightning-fast scythe slashes. The fight was my most difficult yet, but I gathered all of my strength. I couldn't let Alice down. With one final blow, I struck down the mutant warden. With him out of my way, I rushed towards the mysterious rune and claimed it as my own. Suddenly, its magic sent me into a flashback. I saw my creator, the masked man, building a golem inside of a jungle biome.
You'll bring a lot to this world. My creation.
Suddenly, the necromancer stampeded towards him on his phantom stallion.
Your soul is mine.
My creator was chased through the jungle as the necromancer went after him for his soul. He discovered a mysterious ruin and rushed inside to protect himself. Suddenly, I snapped back to reality. I had 5 more hearts and a stairway had opened up in front of me. That was my creator! I have to find that temple and learn more. Just then, Alice ran in, being pursued by wardens. We took the new stairs and fled as fast as we could from the deep dark. On days 124 through 126, Alice and I fled to the surface and found ourselves in a jungle biome. Whoa, it's just like my vision. We weren't on the surface for long before the necromancer's messengers found us once again. They charged in and Alice and I prepared to fight. Alice began swatting at the enemies with her umbrella, knocking them back. I let loose with my scythe, slicing into the wraiths and skeletons to her side. I used my soul siphon attack to keep myself sustained during the fight, lashing out and stealing the health of any foe foolish enough to approach me. I watched as Alice transformed her umbrella into a scythe, slashing them effortlessly. When enemies strayed too far for her to strike, she released screaming soul blasts that launched themselves at her enemies. How did they find us?
The necromancer has eyes everywhere. Keep moving. I could take care of these guys.
I took Alice's advice and ran deeper into the jungle. I didn't look back until I realized I was now in the dark side of the forest. The place had a heavy atmosphere, and I couldn't help but feel uneasy. Is someone watching me? Just then, horrific plant monsters emerged from the thick jungle and snapped their mutated jaws at me. On days 127 through 129, I was under attack by the evil plant mutants. I took out my scythe and tried to defend myself. I was assaulted by a valley of thorns as I watched a horde of jungle guardians approaching me. I charged into attack, focusing on the ranged foes first. The thorns hurt, so I needed to act quickly to minimize their threat. I cut one down after the other, dodging between their projectiles, but was beginning to get surrounded. I had to switch targets as the jungle guardians had closed the distance, and began to slam me with their iron-hard tree-bark fists. I fought back, but they had completely encircled me, and their blows were relentless. I unleashed the power of my Soul Siphon attack to keep my health up, but it was starting to feel hopeless. Everywhere I turned, I saw more and more plant enemies coming to attack me. In my adult form, I was able to slash through the enemies like weeds, but no matter how many times I sliced them down, more would grow in their place. I have to stop them at their source. I ran deeper into the jungle as the plants continued to attack me from the trees. They snapped their jaws at me, causing me to take damage as I navigated the trees, but I continued to move through the pain. Finally, I arrived at a clearing where a massive mutant flower had bloomed. Gotcha! I readied myself and began to fight the oversized plant. As I charged at it, a giant tentacle came bursting out of the ground. I was able to dodge, but the mutant plant summoned some vicious bugs to attack me. I was able to eliminate those threats quickly as I moved to attack its side, but more vines reached up from the earth and pinned me right where I stood. It launched a barrage of exploding seeds at me before I was released from its grip, causing some serious damage. I ran, and the plant attempted to grab me again, so I teleported out of the way, dodging the attack and slicing it for extreme damage. More seeds exploded around me as I realized the mutant was releasing a steady stream of poison whenever I got close, making the use of my Soul Siphon attack a necessity. I felt like I was fighting an entire forest, vines and bugs distracting me from its main body. I weaved between these annoyances and closed ground on the main target, striking the heart of the mutant plant with a flurry of scythe swipes. The mutant lashed out with more giant vines, slamming them into me with surprising force. The flower was stronger than the smaller plants I'd fought, but I had to end this now, otherwise I was gonna get swallowed alive by the jungle. With one final slash, the flower fell to my strength. Unfortunately, upon its death, the ground caved in beneath my feet, sending me falling into the earth below. On days 130 through 132, I landed inside of an old ruin, but something about it felt familiar. I followed some stairs up to see a large temple in the middle of a jungle. This is the same ruin from my flashback. I knew I was getting close to the next clue about my creator, so I started looking around the place. However, in my excitement, I didn't realize that the necromancer's goons were heading straight towards me. I jumped inside and quickly took cover behind something, and narrowly avoided being seen by the patrolling guard. They're down here too? I had to keep quiet. I stealthed through the halls of the ruins as necromancer guards patrolled the area. I had to be mindful of my larger size, as it almost gave me away multiple times. Luckily, I managed to slip by my foes until finally laying my eyes on the exit. There it is. While the coast was clear, I made my way towards the exit, but I didn't notice the pressure plate waiting at my feet. I misstepped and hit the plate, causing a clicking noise to ring through the air.
There's the spirit golem! Get him!
The guards barreled towards me and I had to make a run for it. On days 133 through 135, I was being chased through the jungle temple by the necromancer's undead goons. I ran until making it into a room with a massive hole waiting at its center.
Nowhere to run.
Then bring it on! The guards jumped towards me and I prepared myself for battle. I clashed with the undead monsters in a good old-fashioned slugfest. The Thrasher skeletons approached quickly and brought their hammers slamming down around me as their skeleton friends reached out and battered me with their ghoulish limbs. My trusty Soul Siphon allowed me to keep up my strength as I continued to fight the undead horde. I teleported around the enemies as I tossed blocks at the ghouls, watching them crumble to the ground as the blocks impacted. I was enduring the best I could against the undead, but their numbers seemed unending. It became clear that there were far too many for me to take on alone. I teleported away, trying to think of something that could turn the tables, but luckily, I had an idea. I positioned myself towards the edge of the hole and tried to lure them over. Hey, over here! The guards foolishly ran towards me. I circled around and smashed them backwards with everything I had. The goons went flying over the edge of the bottomless hole. Don't mess with the spirit golem! Suddenly, the ground of the temple trembled and a massive ancient golem emerged from the chasm.
Who disturbs my slumber?
On days 136 through 138, I was face to face with a massive ancient golem. Wait, you're a golem like me!
I don't have to answer to a pathetic weakling like you. You'll pay for waking me.
Did you know my creator? Despite my pleas, the massive golem smashed his fist into me. He didn't want to listen. He wanted to fight. With a terrifying roar, the massive golem summoned a giant block, bringing it down in an attempt to smash me like a bug. I dodged back and rushed in to slash it with my scythe, watching carefully to avoid its mighty blows. I thought I was safe when a giant laser came tearing through the environment, decimating anything it touched. Rock and fire exploded around me. It brought its arms back, springing them forward to create a thunderous clap attack, sending the entire arena shaking. I retaliated with a spinning blade, slashing its limbs as they neared me. It battered the earth furiously, sending the ground shaking all around me. I unleashed my soul siphon, sapping its strength and trying to keep my own topped off. I was determined to find the answers I was seeking. I landed one more hit, causing the ancient golem to fall to my might. Upon his death, he dropped the next rune I was looking for. I picked it up and was sent into another flashback. My creator was running through a snowy biome and quickly slid behind cover to hide from an incoming entity. I soon saw that the necromancer was seeking him out.
Come out, little man. I know you're around here somewhere. I'm running out of time. I need to hurry.
I returned to reality and my body began to transform into a different shape. The rocks that constructed me grew larger and I gained a powerful jaw. I now had 5 more hearts and the ability to send ghostly balls of energy flying through the air and rippling ectoplasm rolling across the ground. Why was the necromancer hunting my creator? I have to find out. Before I could gain my bearings, lava poured from the ceiling and a lava monster emerged from the lava fall.
On days 139 through 141,
I was face to face with one of the necromancer's goons, and this one had the ability to manipulate fire. I unleashed my new power, sending soul coils arcing through the floor. The lava monster seemed unfazed and grabbed me, lifting me into the air as he assaulted me with a fiery blast up close and personal. After breaking free, I tried to run. The intense heat emanating from his powerful attacks began superheating the floor and turning it into lava. I dodged as best I could, attempting to get close enough to use my soul siphon, but he was just doing too much damage to me. I was about to get absolutely crushed when Alice came running into my aid.
Looks like you could use some help.
The ruin started to grow hotter as she charged in to fight the goon, swinging her umbrella wildly. The lava monster snatched her up, ready to blast her point blank with fire. She unleashed a burst of bats to catch her breath, before transforming her umbrella into a deadly scythe. She swooped in and out of his range, avoiding the lava monster's attacks while slicing at him viciously. I tried to help, landing scythe attacks when he left himself open, but I was still weak.
We have to run.
I quickly followed Alice to an exit, escaping the goon's range.
Run while you can! I'll stop at nothing to bring you to the necromancer!
Luckily, we lost him in the caves and made it back to the surface, but she was badly injured. Are you okay?
No, this isn't just an ordinary burn. I'll die from it if you can't get me a cure. Go north to the snowy mountains and find the chill crystal before it's too late. And take this. You'll need it.
She handed me a magic scroll, giving me the power to shrink. Thanks, Alice. I won't let you down. With that, I headed north as fast as I could. I needed to get there quickly to try and save Alice.
On days 142 through 144,
I adventured into northern mountains and found myself in the midst of a blizzard. I had to find that chill crystal to cure Alice before it's too late. I was trekking steadily through the snow, but it was exhausting. I was running low on energy when I spotted some food on the ground. Oh way, what luck! Don't mind if I do. I grabbed some food and started chowing down, when suddenly a pack of polar bears appeared out of nowhere to attack.
Hands off! That's our meal! Time to die, food thief!
The pack came at me, summoning ice from the ground and freezing me in place. I used my scythe to try and fight them off, but they were super quick. I felt like they were trying to push me off the mountain, so I started unleashing the soul coils across the peak. The polar bears were ferocious in their attack and outnumbered me, but I was still holding my own in the fight. I managed to cut one down as I dodged and weaved between the bears and ice spikes. Their attacks were ruthless, so I began using the soul siphon to top off my strength, cutting another down in the process. Suddenly, out of nowhere, they all ran off. Yeah, that's right! You better run, you punk! Slowly, I turned around to see what was making the noise and realized there was a frostmoth standing right behind me. There wasn't any way I'd be able to take this guy. I had to get out of there ASAP.
On days 145 through 147,
I was being chased around the mountains by a horrible frostmoth. I was running as fast as my legs could carry me, but that thing was tailing right behind me. I tried to teleport away, but I couldn't escape him. I was growing exhausted when suddenly everything went black. I came to in an icy den. I tried to move, but found myself frozen in a block of ice. I looked around the room trying to figure out how to escape when I spotted the chill crystal and another rune. There's the cure I need for Alice. I need to grab that thing and get out of here before it's too late. No matter how hard I struggled against the ice, I just couldn't get it to budge. I was beginning to think it was hopeless when suddenly the ice started to thaw out and melt around me. What the? Now free from the ice, I turned around and realized the lava monster had found me. No way! You tracked me all the way here?
I told you! You can't escape!
suddenly lunged at me. On days 148 through 150, I was facing off against the lava monster. I teleported around the small arena, desperate to avoid his attacks. I tried to corner him and unleash my soul siphon, but he was too powerful, and he blew me back. I started shooting more soul coils at him as he filled the room with fire. He grabbed me with his burning fist, lifting me before slamming me back into the icy floor. I retaliated immediately by unleashing a flurry of sliced slices, cutting into him like a warm knife through butter. Our powers seemed even, neither of us able to gain an advantage. We continued to battle when suddenly the Frostmoth showed up. Oh, come on! You've got to be kidding me! The Frostmoth charged in and launched a powerful blizzard blast from his mouth. I jumped out of the way, slashing with my scythe, but as soon as I landed, fire flew past me. I avoided the flames by moving to the side, only to fall into striking distance of the Frostmoth. As I moved to dodge the Frostmoth's fist, the lava monster would attack me with its flames. I was fighting two monsters at once, and there wasn't any way I'd be able to keep this up. If I was gonna win, I needed to figure out a way to even the playing field. That's it! I've got an idea! I dodged a fire attack from the lava monster, causing it to hit the Frostmoth instead. The Frostmoth died instantly and dropped a nice artifact. Nice! That's just what I needed! I ran over and grabbed the artifact. With it, I expanded most of its power and froze the lava monster in place and bought myself a little more time. I quickly ran over and nabbed the chill crystal, but when I reached out to grab the rune, I was suddenly sent into a flashback. I saw a vision of a strange forest, surrounded by dark trees of blue leaves. Amongst the trees was a hut. Much to my surprise, my creator was in there. I saw him building a golem that looked kinda like I did.
You will be a refuge. The necromancer won't be able to hurt us soon.
Suddenly, I came to and snapped back to reality. I had gained 5 more hearts. That place, it must be my home. My creator has to be there. I need to get back to that hut. My thoughts were interrupted as the lava monster began thawing himself out of the ice. He was burning even hotter than before.
Enough of this! You're dying now!
The lava monster blasted me with the powerful flame. He was too strong. I needed to get out of there. On days 151 through 153, I was being pursued by the enraged lava monster. His flames were causing the ice all around the cave to thaw rapidly into streams of water. Wait, that gives me an idea! I managed to make it out of the cave, and quickly used the last remaining power of the Frostmoth artifact to seal the lava monster inside of the cave with a wall of magical ice.
Let me out!
The cave was slowly filling up with water, and the lava monster began to accept his fate.
You may have defeated me, but the necromancer will come for you. This, I swear.
With that situation taken care of, I needed to get to Alice as quickly as possible before she succumbed to her injuries. I returned to her and immediately handed over the chill crystal.
Thank you, Max. I already feel much better.
Anything for you. You're my best friend.
Really? Thanks. I actually need to do something. I'll be right back.
Alice left, and I was confused. Why is she acting so strange? Suddenly, the necromancer appeared right behind me.
Oh, how touching. Too bad your pathetic life is going to end soon.
On days 154 through 156, I found myself face to face with my arch nemesis, the necromancer. What do you want?
I'm merely here to observe the golem that seems to always slip through my fingers. It'll feel good when I finally rip your spirit out of that stone shell of yours.
You're not gonna do anything to me! I'm gonna find my creator and stop you!
Your creator? Now what makes you so sure he'll help you?
He's my father! Of course he'll help me! Once I find him, we're gonna stop you once and for all!
Foolish golem, I enjoy watching you struggle.
With that, the necromancer attacked me. The steed thundered towards me, and although my final form was substantially large, atop his towering mount, the necromancer and I were eye to eye. The foe's strikes were relentless, leaving me struggling to retaliate against his lightning-fast assaults. With a swift charge, he closed the distance between us and cleaved through the air with his massive blade, leaving a searing gash in my stony exterior. Desperation welled within me as I attempted to mend my wounds with my soul siphon ability, but the enemy's unrelenting attacks made regaining any health nearly impossible. I switched gears, unleashing the power of my rippling ectoplasm ability in an attempt to gain an edge. Yet once again, my adversary's agility thwarted my efforts. I teleported in an attempt to evade his never-ending onslaught, but the foe's speed proved insurmountable. I was unable to escape his earth-trembling blows. I was low on health and desperate when Alice came rushing in to help me fight.
Hurry! Find the answer you seek!
Alice teleported me away, leaving herself to fight the necromancer alone. On days 157 through 159, I found myself teleported into the mysterious forest I had seen during the vision. Recognizing the area, I navigated through the trees and found myself in front of the hut. This is it! It's my creator's home! I wonder how Alice knew about this place. I approached the ruined doorway when suddenly an amethyst golem appeared, stopping me from getting any closer.
Halt! Who dares to enter this place? My creator instructed that no creature was allowed to enter.
Your creator? We must have been made by the same person. We're brothers!
Negative. No spirit golem is a brother of mine. You will not enter.
The amethyst golem moved in to attack me. With the swing of his blades, I was sent hurtling backwards through the air. Swiftly, I teleported away from his relentless assault and summoned my rippling ectoplasmic ability. Despite my greater size, the enemy was capable of dealing devastating blows with unmatched precision. Gathering my inner strength, I channeled my soul siphon attack, mending my wounds just in time for us to clash once more. Yet still, the force of his dual-wielded cleavers proved to be too overwhelming. Determined to win, I tapped into the full extent of my spiritual powers and was able to turn the tides of the fierce battle in my favor. The amethyst golem was tough, but I was able to keep an advantage over him.
Enough. Initiate defense duplication mode.
Suddenly, he duplicated himself. Oh, come on! That's cheating! The trio closed in swiftly, their blades slashing from all directions, leaving me surrounded and trapped within their barrage of attacks. Using my teleportation, I distanced myself from the enemies and unleashed the power of my rippling ectoplasm once more, managing to damage all three foes at once. While I was able to siphon some of their health, their relentless sword strikes allowed me little respite from the heat of battle. Then, the creatures once again used their area of effect attack, sending waves of purple blades cascading across the battlefield. It was clear I couldn't risk getting close to siphon any more health, so I consumed my rabbit, bolstering my strength to its fullest potential. With newfound power coursing through me and my spirit powers reinvigorated, I managed to take down the enemies one by one. It was a tricky fight, but I finally managed to overpower the amethyst golem after its clones. I'm sorry, I didn't want to destroy you, but I have to know who my father is. With a heavy heart, I entered the hut, eager to find my creator. On days 160 through 162, I arrived inside of my creator's home, only to find nobody waiting there for me. What? Wait, where's my father? Just then, I noticed a rune sitting on the floor and picked it up, sending me into another vision. My creator was standing inside of his house with the empty golem, when suddenly the door was blasted open, revealing the necromancer.
Enough of this game of tag. Surrender your soul.
The creator finally removed his mask, revealing that he was me! I'll never surrender to you! This golem will protect me! The creator unleashed a spell, causing him to fuse with the empty golem and becoming the spirit golem. I snapped back to reality with 5 more hearts. Wait, I am my own creator? I lost my memories, but the soul of my creator is inside of me. But how am I supposed to defeat the necromancer? Suddenly, Alice appeared before me once again, but something was wrong.
Now that you know the truth, will you surrender yourself?
What? Alice? No, I can't.
Wrong answer.
She started attacking me relentlessly, and I quickly blacked out. On days 163 through 166, I woke up in the underworld trapped inside of a cage. Standing right in front of me was the necromancer, and Alice was nowhere to be seen. What's going on?
Alice did a great job wrapping you around her finger. Now you're all mine. After all this time, your soul is finally mine for the taking.
No way! Alice wouldn't hurt me! Where is she?
You really still don't get it, do you? Where you're headed, it won't matter anyway.
Suddenly, the floor disappeared beneath my feet and I plummeted down into the unknown. I landed in a creepy execution chamber, where a massive ghost skeleton was waiting for me. Oh no, you're not getting my soul without a fight! As our battle commenced, the foe unleashed a relentless barrage of bubbling purple lasers that streaked through the air. Desperate to regain the upper hand, I attempted to use my soul siphon ability. But before I could regain much of my health, the ghoul slammed his colossal bony fist down with earth-shaking force, sending shockwaves through my body. I was helpless, being beaten into the floor and struggling to regain my footing. Not wanting to meet my fate at the hands of this soulless fiend, I tapped into my rippling ectoplasmic ability, summoning its power to give me a fighting chance against the towering abomination. I was neck and neck with my executioner until he called out for help.
Gods, come quick.
I tried to finish him off, but he disappeared through the floor. Worse yet, I heard footsteps growing closer. Time to get out of here! On days 167 through 170, I was being chased through the underworld by the Necromancer's guards. I tried to throw them off my tail by teleporting around and shooting quick attacks behind me while running away. But no matter what I did, there was always more waiting for me. I can't believe it! How do they always know where I'm going? As I got ready to teleport once more, I noticed a pair of eyes that were peering at me from a distance, watching my every move. Hey you! That's cheating! Knock it off! I ran at the Watcher, trying to stop them from broadcasting where I was to the enemies. But every time I got close, they just teleported away. It seemed hopeless. I just couldn't catch up to the eyes. And more guards kept pouring in around me. I was running out of time and accomplishing nothing. Dang it! I have to get these eyes off of me before it's too late! Desperate and running out of options, I suddenly had a realization. Let's see if this works. I hope you didn't bring a pair of glasses. I shrank my size down, hoping the eyes wouldn't be able to see me and I could make an escape. On days 178 through 180, I was running for my life when I found myself in a mysterious chamber. Inside, I spotted another rune waiting for me inside. Nice! That's my ticket out of this mess! I ran towards the rune desperately, with the beast rushing right behind me. As soon as I grabbed the rune, I was sent into another vision. I found myself watching Alice, who was sobbing over a grave.
I'm so sorry. I miss you so much. I would do anything to bring you back.
Anything? How about we make a little deal? If you bring me the soul of the spirit golem, I'll bring your mother back from the dead. How does that sound?
If that's what it takes, then fine. You have a deal.
I snapped back to reality, in my original size and with 5 more hearts. The beast eyed me wearily. She made a deal with the Necromancer to save her mother's soul? I knew Alice wasn't evil! Feeling stronger than ever, I turned to face the beast, and unleashed my new powers that summoned the souls of the dead to help me. These souls held a grudge against the Necromancer and his minions. With their help, I quickly defeated the beast. My victory was short-lived, however, as I noticed a note laying on the ground. I ran to pick it up. Once everything is done, kill Alice and bring her soul to me as well. She'll see her mother again in the afterlife. The Necromancer. No! He never intended to keep his side of the deal! I need to warn Alice before it's too late! Suddenly, Alice appeared where the rune once was.
Enough. This ends here.
On days 181 through 182, I was face to face with Alice. Alice, stop! Please! I have something to tell you!
No, I'm not listening to you! This is over, Max!
As my former friend let out a deafening shriek, she emitted a purple explosion which engulfed the battlefield. I knew I couldn't take her on alone, so I summoned my loyal minions to fight by my side. However, Alice did the same, conjuring her own formidable foes. The foe made quick work of my skeletal dog companion, igniting a fire of determination within me that allowed me to attack with newfound passion. Undeterred, she unleashed a burst of blinding light around her. I called upon my summons once more and led them into close combat. Her seemingly feeble umbrella proved to be deceptively powerful as she followed her melee attack with a beam of shadowy energy. Alice was incredibly strong. My new minions were proving to be the only way I could withstand her onslaught. Finally, I sensed an opportunity to make my move, sending forward ectoplasmic rings that darted across the battlefield, chipping away at her vitality. In response, she drew forth her massive scythe, slicing through me with ruthless precision. Dodging her attacks proved futile as she was now able to vanish and reappear at will, always one step ahead of me. With her relentless pursuit, she chased me in circles around the pillars. In a desperate bid to gain the upper hand, I used my summons to momentarily stun her, giving me the advantage I so desperately needed. I finally had her on the ropes, which gave me one more chance to tell her the truth. Stop this, please! You're being tricked! Look at this! Before she could protest again, I handed her the note I had found. She stopped and read it.
I just can't believe it. He was never going to save my mom. I'm so sorry, Max. I was just desperate to save her.
It's okay. You're still my friend. Our conversation was interrupted suddenly as hunter ghouls swarmed in after us.
Let's do this. Together.
On days 183 through 184, Alice and I were defending ourselves against the hunter ghouls. The enemy's numbers were too great, so Alice and I split up to increase our chances of survival and find a way to outmaneuver them. I fought the creatures at close range, but there were still too many of them, so I switched tactics, sending forward my rippling ectoplasm cascading across the battlefield to take them out en masse. But still, their forces just refused to dwindle. We needed more manpower, so Alice and I summoned our minions to fight by our side. Finally, with our powers combined, the two of us started to pick off the remaining stragglers. With Alice's help, taking down the hunter ghouls was far easier, and we were able to successfully take down the foes together. It's good to have you back, Alice.
It's good to be back, but we should leave before more guards come.
Alice was right. We had to get out of there. She quickly led me to a portal back to the overworld. Well, now I need to find another way to defeat the necromancer.
I think I can help with that.
How so? Alice handed me a map.
There's a place that holds an artifact capable of sealing the necromancer's soul. If you get that, you might stand a chance.
Sounds like I know my next mission. On days 185 to 186, we followed the map to a cursed tomb. According to Alice, the artifact was being held inside. We began to walk towards the entrance, but before we could enter, the necromancer's goons arrived to stop us.
He knows we're here for the artifact. Hurry!
Alice ran towards the goons and began to fight them, buying me more time to move ahead. I entered the tomb and found the artifact. It was sitting there, just ready for the taking. I moved forward to grab it when the necromancer appeared out of thin air.
You vile creature! You've been causing me a lot of trouble.
And I'll keep doing so until you're sealed away for good.
You can't evade me forever. I'm taking that soul of yours one way or another.
I won't go down easy. The necromancer charged towards me, ready for a fight. On days 187 to 188, I dodged and caused the necromancer to run straight past me and directly into the artifact. I watched as it shattered into 3 pieces.
You think you're clever? Have a taste of this.
The necromancer turned back towards the remains of the artifact, which suddenly vanished. No!
Good luck stopping me now. On day 100, your soul will be mine.
As quickly as he had appeared, the necromancer was gone. Alice ran inside, looking around for any sign of the artifact.
Did you get it?
No, the necromancer showed up out of nowhere. He broke the artifact into 3 pieces and then made them disappear.
Then we have to find those pieces fast. Here, this should help.
She handed me a map titled Secret Base.
One of those goons dropped it. There's a good chance a piece of the artifact is there.
Let's move. On days 189 to 190, Alice and I arrived at the secret base to find it crawling with necromancer goons. If I was trying to hide an artifact piece, I would definitely start here.
I'll distract the guards. You go inside the facility.
We went our separate ways, Alice heading towards a group of guards as I teleported up into the large castle. The guards were everywhere, but I didn't have time to stop, killing anyone who got in my way. I teleported around searching frantically as more guards fell to my power. I can't let these goons bog me down. I have to find the piece of the artifact fast. I kept moving through the fortress and finally spotted the artifact piece inside the fortress's central tower. Bingo! I ran to the artifact as fast as I could and grabbed it. As soon as I did, I heard footsteps running towards me. I turned around to see a group of guards charging in to stop me. On days 191 to 192, I was facing off against the guards, with the piece now in my hands. You're not stopping me! Suddenly, a lich dropped down and attacked me. A devastating blow from the undead foe's scythe marked the beginning of our hair-raising duel. The blade tore through my stony exterior, slicing my defenses and dealing massive damage. I needed to put some distance between us, but the enemy was capable of phasing through the floor and reappearing beside me. Even when I was able to withdraw myself from the specter, seemingly effortlessly, the ghoul would hurl its weapon towards me, hitting me with marksman-like precision. With my spiritual powers, I was able to disorient the lich enough to narrowly avoid its sight as it whizzed through the air. Closing the gap between us, I unleashed a flurry of close-range blows, but for some reason, I still couldn't manage to kill the adversary. I needed to increase my power, so I summoned my minions to bolster my attacks. I thought that would grant me the advantage I needed to defeat the foe, but it seemed that nothing could overpower it, and I was running out of options. Harnessing all of my strength, I unveiled the full extent of my arsenal onto the enemy, hitting it with everything I had. But still, the lich refused to go down. The fight was much tougher than expected. Our powers were on equal terms, but the lich just wouldn't die, and I began to realize that I wasn't going to be able to win this one. I ran out onto one of the bridges looking for a vantage point, the lich hot on my heels. Once I was outside, I noticed that TNT was being stored inside a nearby tower, which gave me an idea. Incoming! I blasted the TNT and teleported out of there. Before my eyes, the tower exploded, along with the lich inside. Once the lich was taken care of, I reunited with Alice and showed her that I had found the first piece. Alice, look! I got one of the pieces!
Nice work. Those guards gave me some intel on the next piece. Come on.
With that, Alice and I kept moving, heading towards the second piece. On days 193 to 194, I arrived at the next location to find the second piece concealed in a cage, high up at the top of a tower. We've got to get it out of there! But how? I can't teleport through iron bars! I tried to blast it down with my powers, but the tower didn't budge an inch. On closer inspection, I realized that it was made of netherite.
Don't worry, my powers of teleportation are more sophisticated.
With a burst of magic, she teleported herself inside of the cage and grabbed the artifact fragment. Wow, that was great! I was so caught up in the moment, I almost missed something that was rustling in the bushes. What was that? Before I could say another word, an armored beast jumped out of the foliage and attacked. It was an ambush! With a menacing glare, the wolf summoned razor-sharp swords from the sky, raining them down upon me. His own sword proved to be just as powerful, slicing away at my health with each monumental swing. Desperation setting in, I unleashed my ectoplasmic rings from a distance. However, even at a range of the beast's blade, I wasn't safe from his relentless assault, as he slammed his sword into the dirt, sending a devastating beam along the ground. Realizing I needed an advantage, I summoned my minions to aid me, but the wolf still had me on the ropes. Every ability I used, he countered with unwavering aggression. I had no choice but to teleport away, but the wolf remained hot on my trail, determined to finish what he had started. I did the best I could, but the ambush caught me too off guard. I couldn't win. Alice came to the rescue, teleporting out of the cage and to me.
Catch!
She threw the piece towards me. Got it! As soon as I grabbed it, I ran away. On days 195 to 196, I was chased by the armored beast through the forest. It was relentless. To my horror, I broke through the forest edge and found myself cornered at a cliff.
Don't worry, I've got this.
Alice unleashed a massive amount of magic power at the armored beast, causing the creature to vanish. I thought it was gone completely, but then it reappeared over the edge of the cliff and fell to its death. Alice, are you okay?
Yes, think so.
I tossed some food her way so she could heal. Then we both checked out what remained of the beast. Where he died, he dropped a map to the final location. Rest here, Alice. I'm gonna get that last piece. On days 197 to 198, I arrived at the final location. I found myself in a creepy area, and despite what the map said, nothing seemed to be around but swords and sand. It's quiet. Too quiet. Out of thin air, the necromancer appeared before me. Where'd you come from?
Ha! Looks like you're one piece away from finishing your little toy.
Maybe you should have done a better job of protecting them.
Please, you'll never get your hands on this one.
We'll see about that! The necromancer attacked me in a whirl of fury. As our heated battle began, we clashed at close range, and to my surprise, I was managing to hold my own against my greatest enemy. Yet, his powers remained superior to my own, a relentless force I was struggling to match. As my strength began to dwindle, I knew I couldn't best him alone, so I called upon my loyal minions to come to my aid. However, no matter how hard we all fought, the foe continued to swing his blade mercilessly, determined to cut me down once and for all. I attempted to gain an advantage by teleporting around him, but the necromancer's mount outpaced my teleportation ability, predicting my every move. Recognizing the need to limit his mobility, I directed my summon allies to target the adversary's horse. As the steed fell, the necromancer's rage surged, coming at me with renewed fury as he unsheathed an additional blade, swinging at me continuously, now with 2 weapons. To my surprise, it seemed he had grown even more powerful, his attacks somehow infused with a chilling touch of death. Undeterred, I unleashed the full extent of my spirit power arsenal in retaliation, but his icy cold strikes were never ending. As we clashed, I began to realize that he was far too powerful for me without the aid of the artifact. Eventually, I was knocked down to low health.
End of the line.
Leave him alone!
Alice ran to my defense, lunging at the necromancer. On day 199, Alice and the necromancer were battling it out.
You'll pay for lying to me and hurting my friend!
You were foolish enough to take the bait.
Hurry, Max! I'll hold him off.
I knew it was in our best interest to listen to her. While she fought the necromancer, I moved on ahead. After a little bit of searching, I found the last piece waiting for me atop a pedestal. This is it! The moment I grabbed it, the 3 pieces fused together, forming the artifact. I gained 5 more hearts and felt as powerful as I would ever be. Finally! It's mine!
Stop right there, Spirit Golem.
I turned and saw the necromancer was almost upon me. I tried to use the artifact on him. To my surprise, though, it didn't work. What? With a cackle, the necromancer teleported the 2 of us away. On day 200, we reappeared in a mysterious arena. No! Why didn't the artifact work?
You fool! I'm at my full power. You can't seal me in there now.
Is that so? Then I'll just have to beat you down first.
Ha! Tough talk from a wimp like you. Your time is up, and your soul is mine.
Without another second's hesitation, the Necromancer attacked me furiously. In an impressive display of agility, the Necromancer executed a full 360-degree spin with his deadly spear. Swiftly, I fired back at the adversary from afar, but he managed to close in the distance with uncanny speed. Determined to claim victory, I called upon my faithful dog summon once more, but the enemy was able to effortlessly eliminate it, his willpower unwavering. Gathering my resolve, I channeled the power of the artifact, unleashing everything I had upon the Necromancer at close range. We exchanged blows in a melee clash, his sword swinging fiercely while I retaliated with my colossal stony fists. Throughout everything I'd ever faced in my 100 days, this Necromancer was the hardest opponent yet. My whole journey had led to this. Even if he was tough, even if I was hurting badly, I would withstand it. There was no way I could let him win now. Through sheer determination, I managed to chip away at the Necromancer's health until he was dangerously low. It was my chance to try the artifact again. With the sudden flash, the Necromancer was sucked inside the artifact. At last, I had the Necromancer sealed away forever. I did it! In a shimmer of light, Alice appeared next to me.
You did it!
It's finally over! The Necromancer's evil reign is finished! Reunited again, we celebrated our victory.